this can go either way. What do you think, Boyd? Do you have any prediction?
Well, yeah, Magic is definitely one of those players that does better under pressure. Like if he is on his tournament lifeline, he is full focus. He can get very scary with the kind of stuff that he can pull off. But Mosca, up and coming. I think he might be the youngest player in the tournament. I think it's between him and Grass.
I didn't know that.
And the thing is, right, Mosca, I think he's modeled his game a little bit after Magic. I think their play styles are really similar. I think their thought process about the game is really similar. And honestly, the past several years of watching Mosca come from becoming like a Poseidon main into this kind of well-rounded Age of Mythology player, and just seeing his growth, and I'm excited to continue watching this story develop. I think if Mosca can do it in this tournament, he's gonna really leave his little mark on this one. He does also have the M name as we get into the 3 M's of Age of Mythology. Mr. Magic and Magyar, Mosca.
It's gonna be 4 M's in no time. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Well, while you've been yabbing, Boyd, I've been looking at the picks and bans, and I noticed that Magic. This is kind of interesting to me. Magic bans Loki, but he doesn't pick Loki himself. That to me is peculiar, especially because we've got maps like Anatolia, Marsh. Hello, Marsh. You don't pick Loki for Anatolia. This is a bit interesting to me. So maybe this is just because Magic doesn't like playing versus Loki, doesn't see himself as much of a good Loki player either. So, yeah, either way, I found it interesting.
I've seen Magic playing Loki, and the problem that he gets with it is it doesn't fit his playstyle. Like he doesn't like getting put into positions where he's got to do like the one town center timing attack. He wants to play that long game. He wants to play that slow, methodical, make one little move here, get an advantage, tiny advantage, build on that tiny advantage, get another move over on this left side, on the right side he's doing something, get another little advantage and build on that. Whereas Loki is this god that is just, let me just build up to this one foul swoop, let me execute on that moment, and let me just get the win. He doesn't like that, I think. So it does kind of make sense. And looking at his god draft, he's got gods that he is comfortable with. Obviously, he can play all of them, but these are the gods that I know he is comfortable with. He knows the strategies, he knows how to play them. We're going to be going onto the map Anatolia, those soup, and we're going to be seeing a classic. Back to the Hades Zeus of old. It's like nothing's changed.
I was about to say, we've had so many cool Norse versus Greek matchups and Anatolia, but finally we're back to Hades versus Zeus. Yeah. Back where we belong.
I mean, Magic could have picked... He could have picked Thor on this map if he wanted to. He has Frey as well.
Mosca could have picked Odin.
He's got so many. He's got Kronos there. There's Odin. There's a lot of different picks here.
Yeah.
But yeah, who do I favor here? I think I favor the Zeus, and the big reason is bolt. You can bolt a Achilles. You could bolt a Skylar. You can bolt a Minotaur, and find yourself a really big advantage. That being said, Townsend is in the middle of the map. We're going to be figuring out exactly what's going to happen here. As we get into game number 1. At the bottom of the map, we've got Magic, and he's going to be as the blue Hades. And on the top of the map, we've got Mosca playing as the red Zeus.
All right. So your favorite Zeus. I think probably people tend to say Zeus S+ tier, and then maybe Hades S tier, and then everyone else below. Like traditionally, at least that's what people have been saying. And maybe that is where we are ending in this tournament after all. Even though we've seen a lot of Norse, it does seem like at least these two players, they're back to their Greek shenanigans here. And what is this dock from? Wait, sorry, that's Magic. I was about to say it looked like a forward dock, but it's just super standard here. Both players going on either side. So this to me represents all calm on the West Front.
Yeah. Look, I think the big advantage, the big advantage that Zeus has got is just that bolt. You can't do anything early game against Zeus. He's going to bolt if you want to play a Freya, say you're playing Norse, you're going to bolt the Valk. It's going to be sad. If you want to play for, I don't know, like a Behemoth attack, he's going to bolt your Behemoth. You're going to be down 1. You're going to be sad. There's a lot of difficult things to crack Zeus on this specific map. Whereas Zeus can say, I've got hoplites, I can get the mobility in, I can do whatever I want. I've got the Minotaur that I can run into your main base, catch you out of position, and all that other good stuff. That being said, there's plenty of angles here. Like you said, Hades is a very close second. Traditionally speaking, I don't think it's actually the case anymore. But traditionally speaking, Hades has got a lot of those advantages. Go on.
Yeah, so let's talk about those advantages. You mentioned what
Yeah.
Zeus has got, the bolt, the hoplites, etc. Magic playing as Hades here, he will look to get probably a bit of a slower advance, and then he's going to put 3-4 villagers on temple, on prayer duty, and he's going to get that Walls of Erebus in. Walls of Erebus pretty much amounts to 2.5 villagers, so on top of his already established fish economy, he adds that Walls of Erebus, and he's kind of putting Mosca he's putting himself in a situation where Mosca has to come up with something, and it's always a nice situation to be in, especially for a player like Magic. He loves to play the defensive boomy game, and yeah, I can definitely see why he favors the Hades pick here.
Yeah, and Magic is like such a beast with Greek as well. Like we see it time and time and time again. He manages to make something out of nothing a lot of the time. And I guess in this specific matchup as well, if he thinks he's going to be playing against the Zeus, he knows, well, he gets to play defense. And if anything, Magic likes playing defense. And I would say Mosca also likes playing defense, but he doesn't have that option in this game.
No, exactly. That's what Walls of Erebus does. It puts the onus on your opponent to make something happen. Because if these two players are just mirroring each other, nothing much happening, and they're just slowly pushing on to the middle, that's big favor for the Hades player with that Walls of Erebus. Another thing about Hades, I should mention, is that he's got that plus 15% HP on myth units. So even though he doesn't have the initial 10 favor that Zeus has got, even though he doesn't have the same favor accumulation, he does have stronger myth units in general. And if it goes to the point where both players are just spamming out Scylla on either side, then that 15% HP can matter a whole lot.
Yeah, sure. Anyways, Athena coming through pretty quick actually for Magic. So he's not actually gone for a late advance time at all. A nice quick one. He's getting hand axe, he's getting pickaxe. He's got 3 villages, like you said, on favor, going to be working towards that Vault of Erebus. So he is going full economy all the way here. And I know that Magic has put a lot of effort into this specific matchup already. In the earlier tournaments, I think even Genesis, he was full send on this matchup with Pegasus Rush, right? So he knows the ins and outs of both sides of this matchup with arguably one of the best Zeus players of all time. Well, one of the best Zeus players of all time. So he knows exactly what's coming for him or what's potentially coming for him. So he's going to be ready to defend against pretty much everything.
Yeah. We've seen Recon fiddle around with Ares and going for that sort of demos to counter the inevitable hoplite spam from the Zeus. Hasn't seen it too much success, and we do see Magic just going for the standard Athena play. So that's, I guess, since you're saying that Magic, he's practiced this particular matchup a lot, maybe more so on Kalauga than on Anatolia. Either way,
it's a little bit different.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a water map with water on both sides, and you're pretty much expecting many of the same things that you would on Kalauga.
Yeah. We do see a Juggernaut coming out as well straight away for Magic, but Mosca's already got 2 Pentaconters.
Yeah.
And he is ready to send on the water. It's pretty rare to see a very heavy water fight here on Anatolia, but I do think it's becoming fairly
We're seeing
meta.
it a lot, aren't we? Yeah, I was about to say, we're seeing this a lot.
Meta. Yeah.
I love this. I love it a lot. Like, you think maybe just a month or two ago, I think the meta was to just go almost straight heroic. People used to say, if you build even just one boat, that's a big waste because it's just going to go down to the Scylla, right? Well, that's not what people are saying anymore.
No. I mean, right now, the buffs to heroic fleet and all of that stuff means if I've got, say, 4 trireme out and and my opponent goes for Skylar, I can just kill him off. It's fine. It's not a problem.
Yeah, this is cool. I like it. And also, while we're at it, since there is so much fight over the water, we should mention that Magic has got the option to go for Aphrodite, which gives him access to the Argo, which can be such a good unit against the inevitable Scylla spam coming out of Mosca. Do you think having access to Aphrodite is better than having access to Dionysus.
I, I feel like you really need the underworld. No,
Oh,
because there's
really?
going to be bronze coming for you at some point, so you're going to have to get. Maybe you don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Aphrodite's completely fine. Yeah,
I
like you've got. Yeah, you get the favor boost from golden apples. You get the Argo to hold onto the water. You get a curse to
yeah.
hit onto the bronze units. It's definitely an angle to play for sure.
I think that's the meta angle. Dionysus is coming in from Mosca now, and Magic is he just needs the gold right now. He's got 7 villagers on gold, plus the Vault of Erebus ticking in, killing a Minotaur there. Actually, quite big for Mosca.
Yeah, all of these sort of advantages that you can gain do end up building, especially when this is one of the big advantages of Hades is having those stronger myth units. So losing that on the side of the map is never good.
No, no, for sure not. And once again, small skirmishes here. 6 boats on the side of Mosca, and I think a bit fewer for Magic. Really good raid here with the 2 heroes. Ajax Achilles going to town.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what Mosca was trying to do there. He decides to turn around and shank a little bit. He does manage to get everyone else away.
Achilles
But
is such a good raider, actually.
yeah,
I always
yeah.
get surprised by it, but yeah, you can pick off units with that hero a lot of the times. Forcing out tower upgrade is huge.
Yeah, there's no excuses there. You got to be ready to defend against that sort of thing, and we do indeed see Aphrodite. Makes perfect sense when you think about it. If you don't think about it, it makes no sense. Of course.
Well, we do think about it on this channel, don't we? We have
That's right.
Dionysus in for Mosca now, so I think we will see where is the Scylla spawning, probably over on the right side then, yeah. And that's gonna be a big threat over here. I don't think there's enough units to take down the docks just yet, so if Magic wants to, when he hits the rogue gauge himself, he can make a comeback over on both sides of the water, actually.
Yeah, I think you just get the Argo, you push garrison all your fishing ships, make sure the Scarlet doesn't get any heads, and you're perfectly fine here, right?
Yeah. Well, we have Scylla on both ends of the map now for Mosca. He's got only a single villager on prayer duty, so there's not going to be that many Scylla. Maybe also realizing that Argo is something that is an option for Magic, so he doesn't want to go too heavy into those swimming dinosaurs.
Yeah, and I guess the next question is like where to next? One, you have to defend the water, and we will be seeing Argonauts coming through, so that's going to be the Argo. But do you have to get out units? Mosca's going for a town center here, which I think that's arguably a little bit risky. All of a sudden, you're now giving the Hades player the option to go for the earlier Mythic Age and maybe start controlling the middle of the water.
Such an unorthodox thing to do, to go for second TC here. I never see anyone actually doing that on Anatolia. There's that Argo in, and directly now countering the Scylla. 2 heads on that Scylla, but it's targeting the Argo, and it's just not doing enough at all.
Yeah, and this hero ship, while it's good, it's perfectly great. It's amazing against the myth units. It's also not bad against normal ships either. It's just a big body. 600 HP,
yeah,
20 DPS. That thing hurts.
I think you can even upgrade it with the heavy warship if you get that upgrade. Honestly, in a game like this where both players are investing so heavily in water, I think that's an upgrade that you should definitely look towards. 150 wood, 150 gold, not even that much, and it affects every single boat that you build.
And while this is all going on, Magic is managing to get raids off into the middle of the map. He has to pull back. The Nemean line is a little bit caught out. Toxotes in the middle of the map, going to be a problem for Mosca as he has to pull back as well. But Mosca's also hitting raids in the main base of Magic now.
Yeah, and these Toxotes that we're seeing here, they're actually doing a great job against the heroes. I think generally speaking, those Toxotes are your best bet against
The monkey's
early
gonna kill.
heroes.
The monkey's gonna kill.
No, they do. They always do, don't they? Ooh, the Hydra taking hefty damage from the Achilles.
Okay, so now Magic has committed into a lot of Toxotes here. So the simple solution for Mosca is, well, let's just build some Peltast.
Yeah.
And have some advantage here. So does Magic ever make? I'm going to throw it out there. Is Magic ever make some hippies here, or does it just go straight into hoplites and that's completely?
I think it's just hoplites.
Yeah.
The Greek mirror, generally, when we get into a real spam war in the heroic age, I think it tends to lean towards Hephaestus and Peltasts being the best options.
True. All
But
right. Well, the next question here is there even any point in making a huge amount of units right now where Mosca can just slap down that fortress, go Mythic Age, and then click Lightning Storm on this army in the middle of the map?
yeah, I think that's a good idea. If your name is Mosca, I think that's a great idea. You do see he's actually managed to accumulate a very good villager lead here. 10 villagers over Magic. Sick curse here.
Yeah, that curse was somewhat necessary, but now no curse for a bronze later on.
That's true.
Does kind of give some angles for Mosca to make something else happen here.
The Argo. This unit has stayed alive for a long while now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And
He's burning. He's on fire, but he's going to be fine. It looks like Mosca has won this bottom side of the water. So not only has Mosca got himself a sizable villager lead, but he's also going to be able to grab more fish down the bottom while kind of holding the top side as well.
yeah, essential that he does. He's got so many villagers nearby. Super easy for him to even grab 3 villages and grab 3 docks while he's at it. Would probably be the
fortress up somewhere. It's looking like he's missing that, and therefore
he's
can't go
building
to the
it
next
now.
stage.
Yeah, he's getting it there. Meanwhile, what is Magic doing then? Is he just pumping out units here? He's getting a lot of upgrades. Shaft mine, heavy archers. May be able to find Mosca building the fortress here. We'll see if he gets there in time.
The problem with this army composition is he's going to be able to contain everything, but he's not going to be able to push anything here. So Mosca has got all the time in the world, but he's still building. Mosca does decide to build some units here. He's got all the time in the world to just click up to the next stage, and he's going to have that gold in. He gets the food in, and now there's Hera.
Man, and Magic has invested so heavily into Toxotes, even while Mosca is in the heroic age. And this is surprising to me. Like, these Toxotes will just be sniped down. You see, Mosca is building pure Peltas at the moment. I think he may have even cancelled the hoplites that he had queued. So it's just going full Peltas versus what's looking like 80% Toxotes.
It's actually kind of wild. The water fight kind of still going on. Magic is kind of behind on the food, but remember he's also got the
Argo finally going down.
Argo goes down, which means he has to rebuild it. It's not that expensive from memory.
Yeah, I don't think so either. He's rebuilding it now. What does it cost? 200 wood for Frey, but that's nothing. Such a good upgrade to get that Argonauts upgrade. But actually, it's Magic with the villager lead now. Probably also big factor of that being Hera being researched for more than a minute at this stage. But still 8 villager lead for Magic. And Mosca still hasn't gained total control over that right side. That's gotta be a big mistake on the side of Mosca. When you gain control of a side, it's essential that you start pumping out docks, pumping out fishing boats, so that you secure that side, and so you start really getting all the resources available there.
Yeah, there's realistically no excuses there. Maybe it's a bit of a legacy bias where it's like we go up to about 18 fishing ships. You don't want to go too many because you don't have the population. But on Retold, so much more population. So why not go up to 21 fish? Why not go up to 30 fish, 40 fish? There's no problem there. If you've got the position to grab it.
Plus, he's hitting the super fast mythic, so he will have access to Salt Amphora, and those fishing boats are going to be better than anything that the villagers can do.
Yep. Well, Hera about to hit, and Magic, he's just going to back off. Like, he does have a fortress he can dive into. He's splitting up his army. I love this. He's trying to play around this lightning storm.
The fortress looks really cool, by the way. Did you see? Oh, there's the lightning storm.
Yeah, it's on top of the hill.
Yeah.
There's the lightning storm, and Magic, he's not even running away. He's just going to be sort of base tanking this as the Peltas all going down, the Toxotes all going down, and Mosca now secures his gold mine.
It's a big lightning storm.
Oh my god, Magic's at 99 population.
Yeah, and he's got 82 vills, like he barely has any military at this stage. Medusa there, plus a bunch of hoplites. Petropolis even in. These are buff Petropolis. They cost 75 fewer resources than they used to. And this fortress is just going down. Artemis is coming in for magic, but he's just building hoplites and Toxotes. I don't know, maybe I'm the one who's behind the meta, but I really thought counter units were the way to go in the Greek mirror.
Well, I mean, hoplites are going to be able to break through if you kill off an entire army. I mean, we need some pushing power, and I think that's what Mosca was thinking. He kills off that fortress, he kills off everything else here. Magic, however, not going into his own counter units here, Hephaestus. That's the surprise. He's also, I think the other thing that he's kind of missed here is just a lack of military buildings. Sure, he's losing some now, but he's got so much wood in the back. He's got 60 villages on wood right now. He needs more military buildings.
Well, he doesn't have access to a gold mine anymore. And now Moscow.
He is back up to full population. He is back up to full population. He has to wait up the bronze.
Oh, it's a big Chimera raid here. Already taking down 3 villagers. Going to take down a few more for sure.
And I guess the other thing here is it's not really a huge rush in the earthquake, apart from the fact that there's going to be masons that could be a problem for him. But an earthquake on that right position, on the forward gold mine with the fortresses and everything else, double restorations as well, that's going to be the spot to drop it.
Super clutch game here. It is magic. Yeah. He's nearing that 100 villager population. There's the earthquake. On top of the town center, on top of how many military barracks plus the fortress. Really good value. Not taking down anything else other than the town center, but a bunch of low HP buildings there still remaining.
Yeah, the next stage here, or the big problem for Mosca is sooner or later, I don't know if he's already researched it, but sooner or later, Magic is going to have Shafts of Plague. And this just is a big advantage for the archers that are already an advantage for Magic here.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely true. Magic is getting heavy infantry though, and Sarissa, and he does have queued up just a bunch of hoplites, so it does seem like he's just going for the infantry route still.
Yeah, and now Hephaestus to come through for Mosca, so he is reading this, so he says, I'm going to get some answers for that. These Chimera raids are paying dividends right now.
Yeah,
for
for
Magic
sure.
So much value. Players are just kind of like handshaking on that gold mine. Happy days.
The game is on a knife's edge. The fact that both players are mining from 2 separate gold mines at the same time, with the Chimera raid coming in here, I think Mosca is going to be in trouble. He's on 75 villagers right now, still hasn't taken control of that bottom side of the water, so his economy is going to suffer. Magic, meanwhile, 99 villagers. He's got the same amount of fish as Mosca's got. But all in all, the villager difference is really paying off here for Magic, I think, at this stage.
Yeah, Mosca coming in with some fantastic hoplites here, catching those Peltast out. Every little bit of good fight here matters so much for Mosca, being the player who doesn't have gold at the moment. So if he can get some good... I'm misreading that. Magic's the hoplite player. Mosca having a huge problem there, losing all those gold eyes. He can't be affording that at all.
Dude, I'm having a lot of trouble as well. I'm happy to see I'm not the only one. No, but it's Magic who's got the villager lead. It's Magic who's sitting on 3 town centers. He's got, like you said, he's got the late game secured, I believe, with that Shafts of Plague, unless like Mosca can make something really ridiculous happen, getting like 5 fortresses or more with that Argive, what's it called? Argive Patronage or something.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, but you're still having to face tank Shafts of Plague archers, which generally just beat the Myrmidon. So while they're kind of free, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be able to help him out. I want to believe though. Mosca, what have you got? Pull something out of your bag of tricks here.
Ooh, Magic is pulling ahead, I think. He's sitting on 205 population, whereas Mosca, he's on 127 population. His numbers are just dwindling. And you see him on this gold mine where Magic's going to hit him now. So thought things were looking bleak before. It's going to look even bleaker now as he's being forced to retreat from here, surely.
And Magic's now claiming gold mine after gold mine. He's got the fortress on the top. He's got the army on this position. There's not going to be any gold to come through for Mosca. And in that moment, Mosca does tap out. And Magic claims game number 1 of the best of 5 series.
Well played, Magic. Really, I thought the lightning storm struck really hard, and it was Mosca who seemed to be ahead in terms of age advancement. But in the end, Magic just prevails with the superior economy. Kind of what we said was going to happen, right?
Yep.
Magic is sitting there. He loves to play defense. He loves to play a bit behind his opponent, perhaps, just so that he can overtake his opponent in the late game.
Yeah, the you said it. He won the water and he didn't take those fishing spots. There was probably like, I don't know, it's probably like about a 10 villager advantage when we were making where it actually seemed like it was a thing. Have
Yeah.
those 9 fishing ships with Salt Amphora, all of a sudden that's not a 9 villager advantage for Magic. That's equal. And Mosca has all that forward movement with the army, can take everything else out. But I mean, credit where credit's due. Magic holds that big, scary lightning storm push. You know what's going to come. That's what the matchup is. He gets the units back out. He holds the bronze as well, and he's able to claim the victory.
These were some great raids. Magic really utilizing the power of Achilles here. And yeah, he doesn't. The good thing about those Achilles raids plus the Ajax, of course, is that he doesn't have to invest into any production buildings to get them, and so he's able to fight water still. Eventually, he did lose that right side of the water, but just being able to compete while still getting the raids off worked so well for Magic here.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're the one doing all those raids, it is harder to deal with it than to actually perform those things, because like you click the unit on there and then you can go and do something else. You're not having to worry. Whereas your
Yeah,
opponent is busy doing something, and he goes, "Oh, I'm getting raided. I have to go over and deal with this." And then all of a sudden, you miss a macro cycle. You drop a ship on the fight that you can't afford to drop, and your position just gets like worse and worse. So Magic taking that opportunity to do that with that one big advantage he has from the Achilles, and he just runs away with it. Hey.
this was so like I was really worried on Magic's behalf with all those Toxotes early game. I guess kind of with Curse on top of the pill tests, he definitely buys himself a lot more time. um, where he doesn't just get completely annihilated by the pill tests. And now Magic gets himself 3 lions. He's got himself the heroes, and that's where the lightning storm hits. So all the Toxotes that I thought he was overproducing, they're gonna die to the lightning storm anyways.
Yeah,
D-
that's right. So
doesn't
maybe
matter which
maybe
units they
the
are.
idea is just get the cheaper units out to soak the lightning storm.
Right, right.
But even so, there was, I would say, the biggest, if there was anything to improve on, I think Magic played an amazing game. The smallest little criticism was, lightning storm's coming. There's no units. You've got to have that infrastructure down in advance. Get 10 buildings. Get everything out, because you've got all the resources there. The income. He's got 90, had like 100 villages or whatever. With you include the fishing ships as well. You're going to get that army back out much quicker, and you're going to be able to get into that defensive position and be good to go.
Yeah. Didn't talk about the Chimera raid. I think it was a single Chimera. It must have killed like 20 villagers or so. That thing dealt so much damage to Mosca.
Hero Chimera.
Cool Chimera? Is that a meme?
The hero Chimera. Hero.
Oh, Hero
Hero.
Chimera. Cool
Yeah.
Chimera. We can make a meme of that.
I could do.
It's probably not going to happen.
Anyways. Now, next matchup. We're seeing it coming through. Thor, Poseidon on the map Ghost Lake. We haven't seen. Actually no. We have seen Poseidon on this map a little bit. I remember seeing throwbacks to Rappel Recon, Loki versus Poseidon on this map. We've seen a few other ones. I don't know how much Poseidon Thor I've really seen. I do think that, Poseidon's got that nice early game to get in and try and harass and punish the late advance time that the Thor player wants to do. But on the map Ghost Lake, with all the goats, what do you think, Sue? Where is this game going to take us?
Ooh, I don't know. I think Thor is just favored in this matchup. You did say that Poseidon excels at that 315 advance, but Thor at the same time, the more people get to know how to play Thor, how to play defensively, they don't really get flustered too much by that Centaur Atalanta raid. as you would usually do. And even if you lose a villager, it's unlikely that you do so. But even then, you're still going to be ahead by like 4 or 5 villagers after that. And then Thor just plays so well into Poseidon. Actually, Poseidon, I think, is one of the lesser picked gods in this tournament in general. And I think a big reason for it is because Poseidon doesn't play very well into Norse.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, you do have the I guess the one angle you've got for Poseidon, this is what every Poseidon player wants to go for, is those hippiest centaur. So if you can get on the front edge, if you can get the tempo going for yourself as a Poseidon player early, then the Herser, they get delayed. You can't really make Herdman because the Centaur are killing them off. So you almost have to go pure Herser to deal with Hippias Centaur, and that's kind of what Poseidon wants to play into anyways. So long as the tempo gets into the Poseidon player's hands early on, he's going to be okay here. But he does have to make that happen himself.
Yeah, and as always with Ghost Lake, super important to see what the spawn is looking like. 1 or 2 gold mines is going to be important. And another thing, like the forests on Ghost Lake, sometimes you barely have any protection, other times you'll have plenty of protection. So
Yeah.
if the Thor player is able to hide behind the Dwarven Armory, the temple, and then maybe just 1 or 2 walls here and there, that's going to be very nice for him. But on other maps, you'll have a big exposed gold mine that you won't be able to protect with your buildings. If that's the situation for the Thor player, that's going to be an issue. And then we might see the continuous Centaur raid with that special being a real nuisance for Magic here.
Yeah, I mean, Magic, he's one of the best. Well, he's already said it. Mosca's a good defender. Magic is also one of the best defenders as well. Like, these guys' playstyle, I do think it's very similar. I think they've got, but again, we're throwing into you can't. Mosca's going into this situation. He can't be defensive. He's playing Poseidon. Can he not be defensive? I know if Kimo was playing this game, he'd probably go second town center and just try and win with the defensive Greek play, because that's what he's so good at. So maybe there is an angle there for Mosca.
Dude, we have Mosca on the signature god here, so I'm excited to see this. Even if it's a difficult matchup, which I do believe it is for Poseidon, we are in now.
Well, we're going to see exactly what's going to happen as Magic, he spawns in the top right corner as Thor, and Mosca on his main god here in the left-hand corner of the map is Poseidon. 1 gold mine Ghost Lake soup. Its town centers are looking spicy-ish.
I don't think Townsend is going to come into play here. It being a one gold mine start, and actually we see Magic's gold mine. I don't know if you can say exposed, but it's forward at the very least. This does mean that Magic will spend most of his time, most of his resources on just securing that area, and he's not going to be leaving his base to build a town center or anything like that. So expect a 1 TC game here. And then the question is, do they go for Heroic Age? Do they go for raiding with Freya? Or do they just, play defensively? Magic going through for Seti, pumping out infantry. What are we going to see? I'm not sure about it, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see, I hope, a 315 from Mosca and try to expose that gold mine.
Yeah, there's no sense in going slow here. Forward gold mine, forward chickens. You're not going to be able to hit the boars. You might be able to hit those berries if Magic doesn't secure it. Even if he does, you might be able to bash the wall down and get in there. So there are a lot of weaknesses in this map. The wood is, I would say, pretty good for Magic, and that back forest there should be okay. But I think Mosca is going for the fast advance time. He's got 2 villagers on the temple. Actually, he might not be able to afford it with what he's got here. So maybe it's going to be a slightly slower one.
This is the issue with boars. It takes too long to kill them sometimes, and then you end up not being able to advance when you want to. Yeah, Mosca forced to go for 330 because of it, but it'll still be fine.
Yeah, it's only because he sent villagers over to wood early. If you just put everything on food, you get it. It's not a problem. But people want to get that that nice efficient like build where they've got a little bit of wood coming in, so they can get their Theseus out nice and early. We see Hermes, no surprises there. Magic still hasn't really secured that forward gold mine. I imagine he's going to put a temple and a wall around, but he's got to get that going very, very shortly here.
Yeah, I was looking at his towers. If you scroll down a bit, Vodka, I think the two towers are pretty good at protecting that gold mine. You can imagine when the tower upgrade is in, it's going to be hard to hit and run this location because the towers will continually hit if Mosca gets in the vicinity of that gold mine.
Yeah, and the temple to come down. You just imagine if this was that 315 and that centaur just ran straight over
Oh
here.
my
He
god.
might have been able to deny this, but
You kidding?
that's the difference with timings, man. And that's the small little things can be so huge.
Where is Theseus actually, come to think of it? Has Mosca not produced a Theseus? No.
Looks like the answer is no, not just yet. So
Maybe on
we're gonna be
purpose,
seeing-
just because
yeah,
he
this
doesn't.
table's-
I think maybe on purpose, just so he can get fast units out. That Theseus is just going to slow down your army, right? So why even bother getting him, her?
Yeah,
Whatever
you want
it
it. You want it just in case, and it's pretty rare to see the Thor player going for this, but you want it just in case in your main base to deal with the potential Valkyrie.
Yeah.
You don't have to pull your Atalanta back. So not building it does make some sense here, and we do see after all the Berserk gets sniped.
That's a really
The
good
wall
snipe.
doesn't get finished up, and now Magic is basically forced off of this gold mine.
Oh, this is huge for Mosca. He's getting so much done here. Dude, even just killing the Berserk may not sound like much, but it's going to delay Magic significantly here. You won't have the Berserk to build houses, long houses, great halls, whatever it is he needs to do. He's not got it for this purpose, and it's going to slow him down. This Centaur honestly should be denying these dwarfs continually. There's no reason for Magic to be able to mining this gold mine. Once again, he is forced to retreat here.
Yeah,
Great
the
start for
Atalanta
Mosca.
to come onto the top side as well. He's going to be pushing off so much idle time here. Sure, there's 4 villager-ish advantage that Magic's going to be having once this Hammer of Thunder completes, but the temple getting taken down on the front here. Magic manages to finish the walls. I kind of wish that Mosca bashed away at that a little bit with the Atalanta. If he could have denied that wall, then this base is so open for huge damage, but with the troll to come through, got to be a little bit careful. Nice micro from Mosca, but I don't know how long he can keep that up for.
Such a good healing spring here. Like, it's healing those dwarves back up to full. Obviously, some of them had been hurt, damaged by the Centaur special attacks coming in, but they're back to full HP, and this is just going to be such a good utility to have the healing spring on this location for Magic throughout this game. Big deny on that longhouse here.
Yeah, that's huge, and it's going to keep this gold mine open for harass. Mosca just needs to keep putting the pressure on here. The hardest part about playing Norse is being on the defense and not having your base set up. As he's moving back over onto this temple, cleaning the temple up is even more important because it stops those Hersha from getting built.
Oh yeah, and it's a super defensive temple as well. It opens up this location. You cannot build walls there because the gold mine is blocking it. So if he takes down this temple, it really opens up the gold mine. Magic surely has to invest into Sentry Tower now.
He's going to be getting himself some Herdman out, and he's just repairing this up, trying to utilize that troll to get damage done. But we do have the technology Lord of Horses in, which will give a tiny bit of health back or regen back for those cavalry units.
Remember the repairing done by Magic here? It actually costs him resources. Sure, he's using it.
It's almost a villager kill.
Yeah, I was so close.
Yes. Yeah, it does cost resources, so it does hurt him.
Yeah, he's using his military, which is obviously great. He doesn't have to spend idle villager times on it, argument seconds on it, but still, it does cost him resources. So, I don't know.
And
Magic is ahead by 4 vills. That's something to keep in mind while all this is happening. So, yeah.
Yeah, the thing I think I'm worried about for Magic, while he is getting a very powerful army out, the thing I'm worried about for Magic is his gold mine, it's almost gone. I'm sure he's got Dwarven Mine, but he's going to have to leave his base at some point, right?
Yeah. And Mosca seems to be, I don't know, he lost 2 hippies in that fight. I don't know if that was a one fight for him or not. There's Herdman in the mix for Magic, and I'm not sure if Mosca was quite aware of it.
Yeah, you've got to have those Centaur out.
Yeah.
Deal with the the Herdman. They are very, very strong against Hippias. You realistically can't fight them with the Hippias. In fact, you probably want to just poke and pull back, sort of treat them like Egyptian spearmen, but Egyptian spearmen on steroids.
They're good, and with the Forseti upgrades, they fare so incredibly well against Tibius, and they're speedy too. But then they don't have they don't have any additional armor that helps them against the centaurs. So it's definitely an issue of just getting. I don't know the math. Do you know? Is it 4 or 5? How many do you need to instantly kill a Herdman with that special attack? Maybe 5.
I'm looking at it, and it looks like it's going to be 5. That was 3, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So my guess is definitely 5.
Yeah. And obviously, then you get the upgrades, and that changes as well. But Magic almost out with Spirited Charge to come through. That is to boost up the Centaur speed as well as the Hippias speed, because he knows that those Hursa are going to get a little bit quick.
Spirited Charge helps out a lot in the hit and run situations that we're seeing attempted here. Doesn't even manage to get the special attack off, maybe partly because the Centaur speed isn't quite there. So it's going to help in that department. But then on the other end, 25 favor. That's 25 favor to not spend on 2 additional Centaurs, which would give him to that magic number of 5, where he can instantly take down a Herdman.
Yeah, and I'm loving this as well from Mosca behind all this. He sees the Herdman, and he goes, all right, time to make hoplites.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There's a lot of Herdmen here for Magic, actually. 2 Trolls, 12 Herdmen, a bunch of Hearses. Oh my god, Magic going for the TC?
I mean, he sees he sees his army, he sees how powerful it is, and he says, hang on, if I get this town center, how are you going to get around and hurt me here?
Yeah, it's true.
It's just something that pretty much just Norse can get away with early on, because they can just put so many units to get the town center up. But Mosca here, almost forced to take a fight. He's charging in underneath those Herdmen. Those Herdmen are going to get so much damage here.
Yeah, he can't take those fights. He can't take those fights where the Herdmen are directly on top of the Hippias, because the counter damage is just too brutal, and now Magic is going to get that town center up.
Now, the town center, while it does prevent like a straight line attack in onto this position, he can still move around the left side. It's obviously going to be spotted by Magic, but he doesn't have to. If he wants to keep pressuring and pestering that back gold line, he can get around into that. But looking into the main base, there's wood to raid. There's other places to attack here. He doesn't have to fully focus on that gold mine, though. The simple solution, it seems, as Mosca is going to go for it, is a bronze all-in.
Yeah, I love the bronze play here from Mosca, to be honest. I do think Magic has secured himself gold for the next many minutes. And so just saying the brute force option, the bronze, maybe even adding in 2 additional Hydras or something like that, adding Hiphaspis as well to take down the Hearses. I think that's the kind of play that Mosca needs here.
Yeah. Anyways, the timing is now in Magic's hands. He's got, well, the defensive timing is in Magic's hands. He can go for Skadi here if he wants. He can go for Bragi and get himself Swine Array and Call of Valhalla, start going into some Berserks if he wants as well. He's got a lot of different. He's got a lot of different options to try and hold the big push. But we have already seen 1 or 2 instances this tournament of bronze being a very difficult thing to break.
Yeah, what do you think?
Defend.
What do you think? Don't you like Skadi better than Bragi here? Because you can just say, I'm not going to use Frost ever unless you use Bronze, and then I'm just going to Frost that. I mean, that's if I was in Magic situation, that's what I would do. There's Ceasefire available, obviously, against the flaming weapons.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, well, the question is, how do the Herdmen do against fully upgraded Hippias?
They do well.
I imagine they still do good.
Yeah.
I imagine they still do good. So if that's the case, you don't need to get yourself Swine Array. So yeah, let's just go Skadi and just take away a little bit of a lose condition or a win condition from my opponent. I've got Frost, I've got everything I need, and we're all good. The thing is here though for Magic, he's got to be careful. Like we've seen it time and time again. This Greek army gets so powerful, the Paspists on the way.
Yeah.
Or Mosca.
And the second Hydra, and Dionysia as well for good measure, even heavy infantry. I think about the time when that second Hydra is coming out, I think Mosca is just going to go for it. The more he waits around, the longer he's just falling behind in economy, and I don't think he can afford it. Bit of a weird gold mine here from Magic, isn't it?
I mean, the dwarves will automatically move there when it finishes, but if I don't, it's weird because he doesn't jump onto it straight away.
Yeah.
Because like with the dwarf mine getting onto it and mining it, you get bonus gold.
Yeah, you get plus
So it's
25%
increased
gather
gold.
rate in the heroic age.
It's actually quite a bit. Like it's a huge amount, to be honest.
It's plus 25% in heroic age.
Yeah. So, but he is doing it. He does have some dudes on there, so it makes sense.
All right.
And Magic is going for that huge infantry thing now. He's got
for sure
Swineray, he's got Call of Valhalla, he's got Champion.
He's got 190
heavy,
pop
heavy
versus
infantry.
150. Hello?
Yeah.
Mosca's gonna find this incredibly difficult to find an opening to even use bronze. And he's sitting on 1 TC still. This is kind of crazy. It's just a Thor economy. The things that you can get away with when you get those additional 4 or 5 dwarves early on, it allows you to grab a second TC while still having the military control. How crazy is it when you think about it?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly right. Like he just had what he needed. I mean, maybe there would have been a better angle to go into getting some Toxotes out, and then that would have been able to poke the town center and prevent it from going up. But I mean, he just didn't have the stuff there to deny it, and then that just allows Magic to just literally just be in front here. And Mosca now has to take a fight underneath a hill fort and a town center. There's going to be bronze, but there's going to be flaming weapons as well.
Mosca's full population finally, and he says no more waiting around. No point waiting around anymore, and he just go for it. If you can take down this hill fort,
the army for Magic's not that good here.
No.
Herdman versus Sepaspist, that's not great. The Hippias are the real warrior unit, and you can just send those Hippias elsewhere. As the bronze comes through, flaming weapons for Magic as well. We'll see exactly how this is all going to turn out. There's a whole bunch of berserkers coming in from the back here.
Why was Magic having so few military units there? And yeah, there we see the reason why. There's like 20 berserks coming. Hello?
He just baits. That's a big bait. He just had them sitting in the back outside of line of sight going, Oscar's going, surely my army wins this, right? And then he's like, no, hello, I've got an extra 30, 40 population of berserks here. I just want to just introduce them to you.
That's the third town center in for Magic as well. We see Petropolis being trained for Mosca, still sitting on 1 town center. I think he's realizing that he's not winning the long game here. So he's trying his darndest to find an opening to get a siege working here. The bronze attack didn't work out. Now he's trying with some more, I don't know, finicky Petropolis attack here. See if that'll work out for him instead. Magic, is he grabbing a 4th TC? Surely not.
Yeah, he will. This is what he does. He knows. He knows this is like, why not? This is what he does. The thing is here for Mosca, and the thing for Magic is Magic, he's got an extra 25 favor and it's going to come through. It's another Dwarven mine.
Oh yeah.
And he's already used, he doesn't have to worry about any other gold mines. He's got one on the left-hand side of the map, but he doesn't need to go over there. No problems. Why worry about it?
Yeah,
just get all the town centers, get all the pop, and we'll call it a day.
So you get the additional plus 25% gather rate, but another big benefit of it is you don't have to move your dwarves from one side to the other.
Yeah.
It's actually, sometimes it's like 500, 600 gold that accumulates too. And the 4th TC is up. Now the Berserks are there, ready with a pincer movement if needed. Otherwise, Magic perfectly happy just sitting here repairing with his entire army.
There will be Artemis to come through. And, I mean, if there's some sort of transition into archers, I don't see it just yet, but there's some sort of transition into archers. I've seen shafts of plague archers do some very nasty things to the Norse armies, but Magic is going to have all the time in the world to set up many hill. He's going to 5.
Dude, Magic is flexing now. This has got to be flexing. He's sitting on 260 population, 4 fortified town centers. He's about to hit. How much is it? 290 total population versus 175.
Yep.
Yes. And the Petropolis poking at the throwing axeman. I don't think that's going to cut it.
Yeah, now he just has to go and kill the main town center of Mosca, claim that, and then he wins in 2 minutes with the town center victory.
Yeah. Would be the first TC victory condition, I think, in competitive Retold gameplay, if that happens.
He's going to find some raids in here as the villagers on this wood line have been left alone, and I think Mosca is beginning to see exactly what sort of a situation he's in. Another dwarven mine to come down, because why not?
I'm calling it right now. I think Magic's going to win this game.
Yeah. I think Magic's got a pretty commanding position here.
We'll see, though. Right?
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. He could accidentally delete his entire army. Seen that happen before.
Well, even then, right? Even then. What was that? Artemis in with the earthquake. Lots of Hippaspists on top of the throwing axemen. Magic doing some nice shoot and scoot. There's a Hydra falling down to the hearses right now, but Magic does get to utilize that TC for garrisoning in and garrisoning out. And now, Magic sitting on only 4 town centers, ladies and gentlemen. Only 4 town centers for Magic.
Only 4, but the villager numbers of Mosca are having some trouble staying solid here, as the berserks in the main base of Mosca they're not being dealt with.
They're not. And Tyr incoming for Magic now as well. So...
Oh, this is a really nice angle to take this fight as well, even though there's Hippaspis. There's just so many throwing axemen. All of Mosca's army getting cleaned.
There's no archer transition going on either. Mosca's getting Hippias. He's got his Hippaspis here. And yeah, obviously, Hippaspis are a great choice, and you can use the Hippias to take down the throwing axemen. The idea is there, but the economy is not quite there, though. 35 villages for Mosca. Maybe a second lure will give him back into this game. No.
He doesn't. He could have gone for the lure. No, but just an insanely powerful, well played game by Magic. He just said, "Fine, we'll take the damage. It's all good, and then we'll build the dudes." I think Mosca probably overbuilt Ippius a little bit there. When you see those Herdmen coming out, you almost have to say, "No worries, go for the Herdmen. Invite the Herdmen to be built while you immediately go into." Hoplite or Toxotes. I know that the consensus is that we shouldn't be building Toxotes in the classical age, but I do think that they're an option against that specific comp.
I think I think the centaurs. What do you think? Just 3 centaurs out early, and then yeah, I think
maybe more centaurs as well could have been a big help.
Yeah, I think that would have made a big difference.
Stable, maybe instead of going 2 stables, you go 1 stable to build Hippias, and you go for a barracks as well, or you go for Hippias Toxotes as another idea, and with the centaur as well. You know, there's you just kind of give the matchup to Thor if you're just going to give him those Hippias. Like, he did so much good damage here early with the centaur, picking off the berserk, getting it onto the dwarves, getting idle time done, but there just wasn't any real reaction to what Magic was doing.
I think once we started actually getting real skirmishes, not just Mosca hitting at buildings and using a centaur special here and there, like this, we see even, I think it's just 2 Herdmen, but they're dealing so much damage. And in this process, we see one of Magic's hearses dying, but you also see 2 Hippias dying. And when you're playing Poseidon versus Thor in an early skirmish like this, you want to win these skirmishes big time.
Yeah, you can't be losing anything realistically here.
No.
You've got the speed advantage. That's what you need to be using. You got 5.9 speed, 6.5 speed, Hippias. You've got the centaur with the speed. There's no need to be taking a melee fight against any Herdman. But yeah, this fight here was the real only chance for Mosca. But Magic at this point, 198, 205 population. Like, doesn't matter how good bronze is if you've got more units than your opponent does, it's not going to go well for you.
It looked all right up until 30 berserks occurred out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But that was part of. I think that was part of Magic's plan. That's credit where credit's due. He was hiding them. He had them off on the side, and he says, "Please come and fight me." And once they came in, okay, I'll bring my dudes in, and we're good to go.
I think they were building a town center, to be honest, and then just returned from that
Yeah,
duty.
but maybe it wasn't intentional. But did he convert? I don't think he converted villages. Did
No,
he?
no.
No.
He wouldn't.
Maybe he did. He might. It's not a bad idea. You know, the villager, the Berserk Narok, it's a thing. I'm still waiting to see the real Berserk Narok.
Ooh, I think you gotta wait for a Loki player to do that with that.
Yeah, you do.
That reduced price of doing so.
You really do. One day, I'll keep holding out.
Dude, Magic was building farms around that bottom town center. Did you see?
He's just full of confidence.
Yeah,
and he knows the position he's in. He knows how far he is in front, and he's just having fun. I think.
I think that's it too. Okay, so 2-0 for Magic. Looking to go. Wait, Mosca is looking to go into Elfheim with his Isis. Magic picking a tried and true pick for Elfheim as well. It's going to be Frey. I think this is probably the most common matchup on Elfheim, don't you think?
I mean, we've seen a lot of Frey played here. Magic normally likes to play Kronos, but he didn't even. He has it. He has the Kronos, and he says, "I don't want to play Kronos against Gaia. Potentially, I wouldn't mind playing Kronos versus Isis. I wouldn't mind playing it versus Ra. I wouldn't mind playing it versus Odin. But because there's a Gaia on the table there, maybe that's why he didn't pick."
He lost that matchup already, right? Versus Mini Yeti.
Yeah. So. Well, the Frey makes sense here nonetheless against everything in Mosca's sort of pool, with the exception of Odin.
Yeah.
Odin, in my opinion, does well into Frey, but on Alfheim, it's not as simple.
No, for sure not.
A couple of risks, maybe, but yeah, I think a good solid pick here for Magic, but also a good pick for Mosca as well. I don't think it's a bad matchup for Isis in the slightest.
No, and I think it's a good matchup too, because someone in chat mentioned this is the battle of the boomers, and it is. Like, it's very normal that you're going to see these two gods going for either 2 TC or even a 3 TC boom into a fast mythic. But seeing just how this matchup plays out, Isis can do so many things, as we talked about earlier, right? She can do the Plague of Serpents on top of the second town center. She can go for an Ancestors Eclipse attack. And even if she goes for a fast mythic, that does... she still has to then utilize that for a big meteor into Valley of the Kings attack. She cannot just sit there and boom and do nothing.
I do have in the back of my mind a game that I believe is on Magic's YouTube channel. For those who don't know, he does have a fantastic YouTube channel making great Age of Mythology content. Same for a whole bunch of other players, but there was a specific game he played, and I think it was I can't remember who he played against, but it was Frey versus Isis on Alfheim, and I think it was versus Chemo. It was versus Chemo, and Chemo did go for that fast mythic play. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but maybe it was before the cost increase on the mythic age. But he was saying that it was very, very hard for Frey to win that situation. So maybe things have changed since then. Like, meta's changed, units have been buffed, units have been nerfed. What do you think? If this is going to be a fast mythic angle from the Isis, does the Frey have an angle themselves, or what?
I think it's a coin toss for me. I don't know which way this one goes. I think honestly, a coin toss. And a big part of that is because it's these two gods just excel at many of the same things, and I just don't see it. We have a question in chat, by the way. Why can't I find these games when you browse the games? It's because it's because it's played on the previous patch, so you cannot see it in the current patch. Unfortunately, there's a lot of issue with the current patch, so the tournament is being played on the previous one. Chemo says, stop exposing his strategies. The 2 TC Isis Fast Mythic strategy that Chemo came up with.
True.
No,
Good
but
strat. It's a good strat. I recommend it. Check it out.
I want to. I want to see. I want to see Mosca. I would love to see Mosca go for a 2 TC boom himself, and then use uh, some form of aggressive play with Anubis, and see if she cannot make an advantage that way. I would like to see that.
Yeah, it makes the most sense to me to go for something like that if you're going that angle. Uh, Obviously, the fast mythic angle is there, but it's so telegraphed. I just, I just don't believe in it anymore. We've seen it so much that these players have to have come up with some answers. You know, like you know what's coming for you. You can't be like, oh, what? He's suddenly in the mythic age at 12 minutes. Like, no, that's not. It's not a surprise anymore. There's no like nothing hidden there. There's angles to take to
People
find
pull the
clear
villagers away
advantages.
from the hometown center. People
Yeah.
don't put all of their production in one place, and people just, you can make herdmen to counter the camels you want to see which unit on the building, and then you can make the perfect counter to it. It's very telegraphed, and yeah, I do hope we're going to see something different from Mosca.
Now we're about to see it going into game number 3. This is tournament life on the line for Mosca here. He's got to win this one. Otherwise, he's going home. In the left-hand corner of the map, we've got Magic on the Frey. And in the right-hand corner of the map, we've got Mosca playing Isis.
And this is a good Elfheim map, and the reason I say it's good is because it's wide open in the middle. So I don't necessarily think this is going to be a big 3 TC boom map from both of these players. I think building stuff in the middle is definitely an option. Although the more I look at this map, we also see a lot of safe resources hidden behind cliffs and forest, as per tradition on Elfheim.
Yeah, you're going to be able to get walls up. Raiding here is going to be difficult, I think, for both players, and especially knowing these players. Like I know Mosca, if Magic is just going to sit back and play hyper defensive, take that very back town center, I wouldn't be surprised if Mosca is just like sending villagers into corners and walling him in and getting random walls if and just making like life really really difficult. Same too for Magic. He's got the Norse, much easier to do out on Norse by just sending some berserks around the map. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see any of that stuff happening in this game.
I know that Magic practices a lot with Keto, and
Yep.
Keto is a really, really good Frey player. And something he does that is super annoying is he values the wall upgrade a lot when he's playing Frey.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
he's going to make those early walls. He's going to get the early stone wall, which only costs 200 resources because you get a 50% discount being Frey, of course. And then, yeah, it's just ridiculously annoying to play against. So I kind of think maybe we're going to see that from Magic.
Yeah, the big quote unquote counter for walls and wall upgrades is the siege. If you get some siege towers out, they have this special ability which gets an explosion effect when it actually kills the wall and actually takes a lot more of the wall out. And then beyond that, you want to be getting those buildings or extra walls yourself to kind of block up the position so that your opponent can't just wall it back up easily. So
Yeah.
you got to kill the position and then take it for yourself as well. That's very, very important on maps like this.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think it's actually a really cool layout of this Elfheim. I haven't seen an Elfheim like this. It's like the center, there's barely anything there, and then the rest of the map, plenty of cliffs, plenty of forests. So the walling will definitely help out a ton in securing the resources around the map. And yeah, it's just you see the nooks and crannies, the infamous nooks and crannies are everywhere to be seen here.
Well, let's we've got a little bit of a
This is
a
like
little bit
an
of a pause here,
this is like an in-game
and
thing, but
all right.
just talk. Yeah, what I wanted to say, because you look at the middle, there's just this big, wide open space, and it does leave open the option for. All right, let's go back to the lobby.
Yeah, a little bit of a problem. Not happy with the map. I'm not happy with the map either. I wanted a completely open map with no hills, no nooks and crannies, and just straight fighting the whole entire time.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll figure out what's going on here. It may just have to be an issue of us reconnecting to the game, and then we can just fast forward to the point where we left these two players. Gonna have to see where it goes. But either way, the way that map layout was leads me to think that it could probably be some early booming in the early stages, of course, and then some big fireworks in the middle. I would love to see Valley of the Kings Mixel in the middle there, for example. There's so much room
Oh
to
yeah.
build for. Or even for Norse. You can build like 10
Whenever,
longhouses, 10 great
exactly.
halls.
Or 3, 4 hill forts with Feast of Renown. Just get that food coming back in. It's way back into the game here.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties defeated.
We're back, baby. And it's it's a game 3. Everything on the line for Mosca. He's gonna have to come up with something good here. He's got himself.
I mean,
sorry.
let's talk about a history of Mosca. Like, he is a Poseidon player at heart. Poseidon does lend itself over to playing gods like Odin, Gaia, Uranus, those sorts of like radish gods. Getting cavalry out and playing for that sort of a position. Isis isn't that style at all, and we are seeing Mosca playing something that does sort of have some sort of reminiscence to playing Poseidon, playing
Right?
Oni, playing Gaia. He's going for Anubis, so I wouldn't be surprised to see those Anubites. I wouldn't be surprised to see him trying to get in and get value with them while taking map behind it and all the good stuff.
He's only got one monument, though. Usually, when you go up through Anubis, you're gonna see 2 monuments at the very least. We'll see. Is he building a second one? Not yet. So
Yeah, this is the super build from Rappel we saw earlier today. Obviously, Mosca not aware of it. He wants to get the town center up, so he's not going to be able to afford that monument. It seems.
right.
But priest going down is huge here.
That's a good pre-skill.
Yeah, and now Mosca has to decide what to do, and he is going for the Ford town center. I love this. I think this is you need to do this if you're going to be going for any sort of aggressive ISIS play. Never, if you can avoid it, don't take back town centers as Egyptian. You want to take the fourth one because this is giving you a launching pad to attack your opponent.
Interesting. Yeah, and that back town center is actually quite bad. Sure, it's got 2 forts around it, a gold mine kind of nearby, but that gold mine is not, gold is not going to be an issue on Alfheim. So what you're saying, absolutely true. Good raid for the Anubite here too.
And he's just going to sit on this back town center with the Anubite. I just run it around and just create problems because I'm going to be dropping Plague of Serpents. You might even be worth it to just drop Plague of Serpents down onto it, just
sort of preemptively
to some degree.
Just so you have those 16 there ready and available whenever Magic decides to go for it.
It does take a while for them to spawn, right?
Yeah, otherwise they're going to be spawning 2 by 2 every 3 seconds or so. It takes a while.
Yeah, nice little raid here as Magic turns around, gets the shanks. He's trying to catch this Anubite out, but it is a lot of lost resources here.
Yeah, it's a big raid.
Magic.
It's a big raid. It's so annoying for Magic to deal with this. He's trying to get the resources for that second TC, and that raid delayed him, I don't know significantly, but definitely noticeable amount.
Yeah, and he's looking to put the town center down. He's actually throwing Axeman out here. There's the town center. And are we going to see Plague of Serpents? I don't think there's another good usage of it at the moment.
No, that's true.
I think you just drop. Yeah.
At the same time, there's going to be like a bunch of units there, so I don't even know if it's going to be that high value anymore. This Anubite is getting so much value, it's absurd. Also, just these 4 units chasing it around means that the second TC for Magic is going up a lot slower than it would have otherwise.
Yeah, the one thing here for Mosca is he did invest into barracks and things like that. I mean, you want to be building Axemen at some point in this game, so it's not a bad thing.
That's
for a third down center.
Ridiculously good call. I love that. I love it so much. I don't think Magic
I would have loved it more if he took the forward.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
This is not a terrible idea at all.
He's getting a wall there,
now
though.
We see, now we see, this is what I was talking about. This is the stuff that, Mosca does, which is just beautiful. Like, he's early walls, early annoying walls, get them up and get going. But I imagine Magic here as well is just going to go time for 3 town centers himself.
Look at the Berserk here. Is it going to catch the villager in the process? It looks like it's not going to. Oh, really unlucky for Magic. Mosca will be able to get that wall up, and that's a really good wall to have for sure.
Yeah, yeah. He's going to be scouting the town center going up, and he's going to react and drop his own third town center. Most likely. I mean, there are some timings here for Magic. He doesn't need to grab the town center. He can go for a nice heroic age, get the center of the map secured, get, like you were talking about, maybe get a whole bunch of hill forts there and look for an attack. But realistically here, Magic is playing into his ability to win with powerful Norse play and good decision making. He doesn't want to take any risks here.
Yeah, but Magic taking his third TC now. Dude, you're absolutely right. Had he grabbed this town center instead of the back one, man, Mosca would have been in a perfect spot right now.
Yeah, he had the snakes as well. He could have dropped them on there, and he did have the barracks. So he could have brought a couple of axemen up there as well to hold on with the pharaoh.
You know what else?
Nonetheless, it's close, and it's not like it's bad. It's a close town center. He didn't have to walk very far, so some good resources for him.
I'm just thinking,
resources for him.
Had Mosca done that, you know what would have been the response from Magic? It would be to get Idalier and start producing Rams in the classical age. Would have been
go for it.
Would have been so much cooler. Ah well. Sobek is in for Mosca now. A bit of an unorthodox pick, but seeing as he went through Anubis, maybe not that unorthodox actually.
Yeah, do you really ever need Nephthys in this matchup? Like, you talk about Nephthys as a god path or a major god, minor god, excuse me, that gives more powerful priests. That's basically it. Whereas Sobek gives cheaper Migdols, gives really, really good Petsubek, which can potentially counter some rock giants. They do some divine damage. That's nice. And also super camel riders, which, while they might not be
true.
They might not be like what we're gonna see early in this game. Later in the game, maybe getting the raids in, running around, break down a wall, super speed with Desert Wind plus Dark Waters. Maybe it's an angle.
Yeah, we'll see what the Sobek amounts to here. Certainly, you're absolutely right. A lot of the technologies that he provides will be useful in a boomy game like this. You've got the economy to get the technologies, and the building technology is going to come in really handy. You're going to have to build a ton of buildings as this game progresses, so the Sun-Dried Mud Brick going to come in really clutch.
Yeah, and we see one hill fort. I wouldn't be surprised to see a second hill fort, a third hill fort, a fourth hill fort. There is a locust getting dropped down.
It's a big one.
As he picks off a huge jump in onto those dwarves there as well. It'd be so well worth it to sack the Cenobite and just keep sniping those low HP dwarves. But he's just going to run around, doesn't have to worry about much here. He's back in, jumps away. Taking too much damage though, unfortunately. Just snipe those low HP dwarves. Gets two more. Beautiful play from Mosca. Magic trying to finish this off. We see Thoth pre-queued here for Mosca. He is going to be going for a huge timing as the Anubite finally falls. But it's going to be... He's going to go for Thoth. Do you like this? Or do you think when you're going for the 3 town center play, it might be a better idea to just go for the Death Ball comp rather than the economic sort of economic timing of get out Osiris, go Son of Osiris, and all that other good stuff.
I like Thoth here, and the reason for it is because Magic is still sitting at 54 villagers. It's gonna take quite a while before he actually gets online. So I think there's gonna be a 2-minute, 3-minute window where Magic is still trying to establish himself, where Mosca will be able to pump out either camels, chariot archers, or elephants, or all 3, and Magic is gonna really struggle to actually fend it off. So
yeah, but this is that thing that I was talking about. If you're gonna go, he does decide to turn into Osiris here actually. But if you're, this is that thing I'm talking about. If you're just gonna go for fast mythics, this is where players are starting to work this stuff out. There's already a portable ram here. Magic is like, I know there's a mythic age coming in. I'm going to take the town center down. I'm going full send. There's only a handful of chariot archers. I don't need to care about this. Let him stop. Let me get some damage while he can. I think he thinks that Osiris is like already like researched at this point. He's so aggressive, but there's going to be damage, and this is good for Magic.
This portable ram is such a good unit to get here for Magic. And even if Mosca was fighting in the heroic age, I think these portable rams are kind of underrated because they can soak up so much pierce damage just by being a siege weapon. So yeah, the risk reward for building 1 or 2 of these so big for Magic. And see over here, is the Plague of Serpents actually going to be able to defend this location? Portable Ram is still quite healthy.
It's actually almost able to take the town center down here. Is he going to get it?
Oh,
One more smack?
my
Oh
God.
my, that's so close. How unlucky there for Magic. I don't think he gets anything realistically for killing the town center. It's just going to get put back up, but it's got to feel frustrating to not finish it off there.
1 Portable Ram doing so much here. I think it's actually a bit of an underrated unit, because as Frey, you got the Asgardian hill fort anyways. You want to be pumping out those hill forts, like you're saying. This is the 3rd hill fort that's probably going to be even more as the game progresses.
Yeah. Well, Osiris about to hit. We see Vidar now queued up for Magic. He's got another hill fort. Realistically here, I just want to see Magic throw down like, let's just call it like 10 hill forts, because you can never build enough hill forts as Frey.
Well,
Never.
10 hill forts, what is that, 5,000 resources?
It's a lot. I'm just saying, like, there's no limit. Just keep putting them down as this game goes on. Never stop.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see what Magic decides to do here. A lot of pressure, I think, on Mosca to make something happen now. He's got his Son of Osiris. He should know that Vidar is surely inbound. So, yeah, he needs to get a nice forward monument, I think, and then he needs catapults out, and he really needs to start getting this snowball rolling.
I haven't seen that one before. That Osiris having some problems holding a relic.
Yeah.
Maybe Pharaoh was holding it, and then he's clearly holding something.
He's
got
pretending.
it.
He's pretending like the relic over on the left side there is just
big raid.
Well, it's there.
In the
He's got
big
it.
raid in the right hand side. There's a huge amount of units in the main base right now of Mosca.
Tempest
You
in
see Tempest.
just to kill villagers.
That's absolutely wild. I mean, he has to play around all of the monuments, so this does make some sense.
Yeah.
It's a huge amount of kills here. And this does kind of level something in terms of economy. Like we didn't see thoughts, so there's no economic advantage right now for Mosca. But Mosca's town center here on the top side is going to be going down. The Huskarls charging forward. Those chariot archers are not there to fight against Huskarls. Huskarls absolutely dominate them. But the Axemen, however, those are going to be good.
Inferno, where is this being cast? Over here, on top of the Son of Osiris. Very, very classical. We've seen that tons and time again. But the Son of Osiris now against the portable rams, it excels against these units. But that TC was already low HP from that earlier skirmish.
Yeah, these top units aren't going to be able to finish off that town center, but Mosca has just lost the position. Magic is running away with this game. He's at full population. Mosca's at 136 of 200. Portable Round's going to be cleaning up this big doll stronghold here.
I don't think the Son of Osiris is bringing enough value here. Like, I think he needed the unit pump that you get with the Valley of the Kings. But even then,
yeah,
I don't know. Magic, he's got so many units here. He's made some really nice moves across the map. And even with Valley of the Kings, that's going to be very hard to react to properly. I love the Axemen here from Mosca, though.
Axemen going to be able to deal with all those infantry, but Magic will immediately back up the full pop. He does have to be careful. In some degree, maybe he doesn't, but he's got to be somewhat careful about going mass infantry into mass Axemen. But I mean, right now, Magic's got full map control. He's about to have another town center. He's got four hill forts, and 3 or 4 town centers. Well, going to be 4 town centers. That's a huge amount of extra food and healing.
Oh, yeah.
You can't break through these positions anymore for Mosca. And he's going to lose all these villages on this front position as well.
Oh, yeah. And once again, the portable ramp is doing a tremendous job. Magic really utilizing them to its full effect. And Mosca does even have, he does a 1 or 2 gold mines over on the right side still, but he's gonna struggle. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. And Mosca's going to have to tap out there. And Magic claims a very, very quick 3-0 here. With some incredibly powerful Norse play in this series, wouldn't you say, Soup?
Yeah, for sure. This Frey gameplay here looked so dominant. To be fair, I think maybe Mosca was playing a bit too defensively, needed something more to happen. He had that amazing and Ubite raid. We're going to see some of that in the replays, I'm sure. But yeah, this was Magic just got his economy up and running, and then he steamrolled his opponent. Very, very cool to see.
Yeah, it did kind of look like Mosca was maybe just a little bit lost in this matchup. Like you can't be giving the map over to the Frey player. Like that's not allowed. If you're if the Frey player has the map, the game's basically over. He is defensive in nature. He is powerful because he doesn't have to spend as many resources on upgrades. So if he has the map, there's nothing to worry about, and he's just going to get further and further and further in front as the game goes on. But yeah, Mosca kind of saying, I'll take my half, you take your half, and we'll call it square. And it was not square at all.
Yeah, even with the nice Anubite action going on, maybe that's what Mosca needed. More of that Anubite action. It seemed to work out so well for him with the nice Locust Swarm as well. Like everything that Mosca wanted to happen kind of did, but then it's just he was sitting defensively on his 3 town centers. He just got steamrolled anyways, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And this big timing that Magic hit, like he's only up, I don't know, 20-ish population, but considering the units that he's got and the units that Mosca's got, Mosca kind of needs to have, I don't know, some axemen out here rather than the chariot archers at this point. In fact, I don't even know if the chariot archers are the
Oh,
unit you want to be going here.
no, I don't think so. I think what he needs is camels and axemen.
Yeah, camels and axemen make a lot of sense against what Magic was going for,
Yeah.
or Elephant and Axeman as well. Like if you're going to go for Thoth, you can get those out in a big quick numbers.
Yeah, but Magic had
But
so many Hostiles, and he got
yeah,
so
yeah,
many armor upgrades for that matter, so the Chariot Archers just takes way too long to kill their designated targets.
exactly. This was a nice little play. I haven't seen it much before using Tempest on running villages, but a nice play to get a couple more kills.
Tempest also deals a
I
bit
think,
more damage to buildings now, as you can see here, the
yeah,
town centers. Yeah,
I think if he just stayed on the town center and dropped Tempest and stayed on the town center, it would have died. He
maybe,
didn't have to chase the villages.
maybe, but he did kill some villagers in the process, so can't even blame him for that.
You can't be mad.
See the big inferno here? Not even that big. It does hit
If you
the.
land it right on villagers, do they survive if they've got survival equipment, or are they just
I think I saw most of them surviving there.
yeah?
Yeah, you see them here as well, actually. These were the remnants. Yeah, portable rams, berserks, hostiles throwing axemen. Didn't even have to invest into the cavalry upgrades. Typical Frey gameplay.
Well, yeah, Magic's just kind of surgical with it with the Norse here. I think it just maybe just like knew what he was doing a little bit more than what Mosca did. You saw it in the Thor versus Poseidon game. We saw it here in the Frey versus Isis game. Just really, really solid gameplay